What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my DraftKings NBA DFS contenders for Thursday, December 31st, the final contenders of 2020. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. I will start posting those again once the new year hits and I can get my life back to normal. Finally, let me know in the comments section who are your favorite options for DraftKings tonight. I've got Zion Williamson, James Harden, Eric Bledsoe, Harrison Barnes, and Lonzo Ball on the outside looking in of my top five, my favorites. Who will be the top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up, we're going number 5, Christian Wood. Now, I understand everybody is back now for the Rockets, but I don't think that's going to matter all that much for Wood. I'm still projecting him for 32 minutes. Center eligibility, 7,300. I'm giving him a projection of 36.5. He needs 46.5 in a GPP. You're going to see that about 16% of the time, but right now I have him in the optimal lineup 25% of the time. We're talking north of 20% usage. I've got him in for 23% right now. 19 points, 9 boards. Love that as a baseline projection. Take it on Sacramento, so you're not really worried about anything defensively. This is going to be a quick, fast-paced game. We should see tons of possessions, tons of opportunities for Wood. I think this spot looks fantastic. That's enough to put Wood number 5. We are staying in the same game. Number 4, De'Aaron Fox, point guard eligibility, 7,800, projected just shy of 40 fantasy points. You're looking for about 49 in a GPP. He hits that 14% in the optimal lineup 25% of the time. I'm giving him 34 minutes, 29% usage. It's mostly scoring 21, 7, and 4. You're hoping that you can get a little bit more in transition from De'Aaron Fox, and I think this is a really nice spot, especially with Houston trying to integrate 3 more guys into their new rotation. Wall, new to the team. Gordon obviously been there. Cousins back. I could see some miscommunications on defense, and that plays well into Sacramento's hands. Again, this is going to be a monster pace spot. I love the total, 112.5 for the Kings. This is a really nice spot. Not only is it good offensively for the Kings, but the Rockets aren't very good defensively. Christian Wood, not a noted defender, so not a lot of rim protection going on. I think that plays well into Fox's hands. 1.14 fantasy point per minute guy. That's where I'm projecting him. This spot looks great for Fox. Again, we're staying in the same game. I want Marvin Bagley, power forward and center eligibility, 5,300, projected for 28 fantasy points. You're looking for about 36 in GPPs. Now, he doesn't hit that all that frequently, 8% of the time, but I like the price tag. I like the value. He shows up in the optimal 26% of the time. I gave him 27 minutes. He's going to have heavy usage, 26%. That's enough to give him 14.5 points as a baseline, 7.8 rebounds. You're hoping for a little bit more scoring. You're hoping that he has basically a hot shooting day. He's a 1 fantasy point per minute guy, and that's exactly where I have him. But the pace up spot is what's really pushing these guys forward. That's why you see Bagley, you see Fox, you see Wood, you see Harden on this list. Harrison Barnes, who I totally forgot existed. This game is a fantasy goldmine. I want to have a ton of pieces for it, rotated through. This is the spot to go. Bagley looks great. Like I said, everybody else looks great for this game. Maybe we have someone else in the 1 spot or the 2 spot. We shall see. Finally, we're leaving that game. Number 2 overall tonight. Bet you didn't see this one coming. OG ANUNOBY. 5,800, small forward, power forward eligibility, taking on the Knicks. I'm not at all worried about the New York Knicks. 28 fantasy point projection. You need 39 for ANUNOBY. That's a big one in a GPP. He hits that 12% of the time, and I think that's enough to put him in the optimal 27% of the time. That's number 2 for the day. Monster minutes. I'm giving him 36. It's not a huge usage spot. I only gave him 14% usage. 13.6 boards. You're hoping to get maybe 2 steals. That would be great. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 4. That's what you're really looking for. The turnover game will really help ANUNOBY, and if he can get out on a break off of one of those steals, they'll be very valuable. He's not a big fantasy point per minute guy. 0.8 in my model. That's exactly where I have him for this game. This is a minutes play. You're hoping that ANUNOBY is out there and falls into some additional stats. The steals will be huge. They're even bigger on FanDuel. We'll get to that in a bit. Look for that link, by the way. And you're just hoping that maybe a couple additional shots go in. it doesn't take much for ANUNOBY to get to that value mark. 5,800 is a big price tag for someone that does not dominate the ball offensively, but when you can get him in a spot like today against the Knicks, this is where I want to be with ANUNOBY, a team that might be turning the ball over a little bit more frequently. Now, before we get to number one last reminder, hit the thumbs up, helps me out a ton. It's the final one of 2020. Let's see how high we can make that like number go. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and then follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. The other biggie, I'm going to be posting a ton of stuff to my Twitter account throughout 2021. It's going to be my big change. Lots of content coming out. You guys don't want to miss it. So follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Now we're on to number one. And finally, the number one play of the day, showing up in the optimal lineup 30% of the time. It's SHAI GILGEOUS-ALEXANDER. Point guard eligibility, 8,100. I have him projected for 43 fantasy points. You're looking for 50 in a GPP, and I think he can do that about 17% of the time. Playing big minutes, 35. Usage rate, 30%, potentially even higher. So I'm projecting him for 23, almost 7 assists and 5 boards. He get a steal, maybe a block. I like the spot against the Pelicans. I'm not really worried about them defensively. SHAI was like a 1 fantasy point per minute guy heading into this season. But he spent a lot of time last year with Schroeder on the floor with him, Chris Paul on the floor with him. That is different now. He's projected like a completely different player. I have him at a 1.25 rate. Because of this increased usage. He's dominating the ball. He's dominating the shot attempts. He's dominating everything for a Thunder team that wants everything to run through SGA, and it is. He's projected differently, and if you're not adjusting your rates for him for this season, you really need to dig in because he is not the same player now that he was last year. That's why SHAI shows up in the number one spot. I think we're going to see him here pretty regularly moving forward. He's going to be a fantasy goldmine on certain nights. And I think that night is tonight because I am not worried at all about the Pelicans. SHAI's going to get out to run. Should be pretty nice to see. That's why SGA, the number one contender on DraftKings, the number one contender in the final contenders video of 2020. Alrighty, guys, that will do it. Good luck tonight. Let's start off 2021 with a bang tomorrow morning. Don't miss these videos. Again, there's a FanDuel link around here somewhere. I'll see you guys in the morning, and we'll be starting off the new year.